Yo, what's up, Aries? Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of February 2016. This month, for the first 3 weeks of February, the sun is going to be in the sign of Aquarius. For you as an Aries, Aquarius is your 11th house. That's the house that has to do with your friendships. So, for the first 3 weeks of February, you're going to be spending a lot more time with your friends than you normally do. You'll find yourself involved in social situations a lot more than normal. And then in the last week of February, the fourth week of February, the sun actually shifts into Pisces. For you as an Aries, Pisces is the 12th house. The 12th house has to do with the self-conscious. The 12th house has to do with things that are hidden. The 12th house has to do with introspection. The 12th house has to do with completions and sometimes even endings. Not to say that something's going to come to an end. Things don't always necessarily come to an end when the sun moves into a 12th house, but there may be something that can come to a completion, and you will be much more introspective at this time. So, once again, first 3 weeks of February, you're going to have the sun in Aquarius. That's your house of friendships. Very social. It's a very social area for you. So, like I said, you're going to be spending a lot more time with friends, and you'll be involved in a lot more social events during that time. And then the last week of February, the sun will shift into your 12th house, which is the sign of Pisces. That's the 12th house for you. It's more introspective. So if the first 3 weeks of February, if you're feeling like very sociable, very upbeat, and then all of a sudden the fourth week of February comes along, and all of a sudden you're feeling like a little bit more introspective, a little bit to yourself, and you're wondering why, no need to worry. It's perfectly natural. That's the essence of this transit. I want to talk about February 3rd. Mars, the power planet, is going to be in a positive angle to Pluto, which is in the sign of Capricorn. Mars is in Scorpio. For you as an Aries, that's your 8th house. It has to do with shared financial ventures, and it's making a positive angle to Pluto, which is your 10th house of career. So when you think about it, you have some kind of positive connection between your shared finances and your career. That sounds pretty promising to me. I don't know if maybe you plan on joining forces with somebody professionally. Maybe you're going to be investing your money together. That is a possibility. On February 8th, Mars is actually making a very challenging angle to, to the new moon, which is in Aquarius. New moons are kind of like a trigger. So in Aquarius, that's your house of friendships. And when there's a new moon, it sets off all these new things that will happen over the next 6 months, which ultimately will lead to the following full moon in the same area 6 months later, which will be like the culmination. So, whatever this new moon is triggering in your house of friendships, you're going to see the result of this 6 months later, and you're going to see it like kind of like build, build, build. Something's building in that social friendship area of your life after February 8th, when that new moon in Aquarius happens. Like I said, it is actually making a challenging angle to Mars and Scorpio that day. And, once again, Scorpio is that area for you that has to do with your shared resources, shared financial resources. So there is some kind of challenging aspect going on there. Something about like how there's going to be a challenge between your shared financial resources and your friendships. So it's something you maybe want to like think about, like how that plays into your life. On February 10th, Venus actually makes a beautiful angle to Jupiter. Venus is currently in Capricorn. That's your 10th house of career. Jupiter is in your 6th house of work. So you have Jupiter, which is in your 6th house of work, everyday life, and also health, making a beautiful angle to Venus in your house of career. That says something very positive about your career and Jupiter is the planet of grand expansion and fortune. So, after February 10th, you can maybe, I would be like taking a look at your career a little bit and being like, is there something really positive that's going to happen in this? I mean, that's what the planets are indicating right now. So pay attention to that after February 10th. February 22nd is actually the full moon in Virgo. Virgo is, once again, your sixth house of work, everyday life, and health. So full moons are interesting because it's like, whatever the result of a full moon is. I mean, full moons aren't necessarily bad. Like, they just basically, things can't keep going on the way they're going on. So that's why full moons are there, because they just kind of like sometimes throw a wrench in the process to just change everything up so that life can be better moving forward. So don't ever, if you have like some kind of stressful event that happens like surrounding a full moon, just know that whatever it is, it's happening so that you can move on with your life in a different way than it's been happening. It just means that like things are outdated and they need to change. So that's the indication of the full moon. So maybe you'll be seeing some changes around your work. Maybe you'll see some changes around like how things go in your your everyday life. Maybe there's going to be some changes in your health. Full moon with the sixth house has to do, Virgo's your sixth house. That has to do with, your health too. So, maybe you've been going along, you're not exercising, you're not, eating right. And then all of a sudden this full moon hits and you have a health problem. And you're like, I got to start exercising more. I got to start eating right. So those are all things that can be a result of a full moon in the sixth house. On February 24th, Mercury is in the sign of Aquarius. Once again, Aquarius is your 11th house of friendships and social activity, making a positive angle to Saturn, which is typically a more challenging planet, and that's in Sagittarius, which is your 9th house of travel. So it's like it has to do with faraway travel. It has to do with maybe even like foreign people that are close by to you that you're possibly interacting with. The 9th house also has to do with spirituality. So with Mercury making challenging aspect, Mercury making a positive aspect, there's some kind of positive correlation there between, Mercury is the planet of communication. So maybe some kind of positive communication between you and somebody maybe who's far away, or like I said, somebody who's local or foreign, or there's positive communications happening, like having to do something maybe with spirituality. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be organized religion. Maybe you're watching this astrology video for the first time, all of a sudden you're getting interested in astrology. Maybe there's some positive communication between you and someone else regarding this subject possibly. So that's something to think about. And I think that's all I have for you Aries this month, and I'll be back next month. Thank you very much for watching my video, and make sure, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and like, and I'll see you guys next month. Thank you.